Hey guys, for arithmetic today, I want you to watch the Go Noodle video, Skip Count to 100, because it's really important that you have your skip counting skills down really well, especially because today's lesson is to divide by 2. So being able to skip count by 2 is really, really important for today's lesson. So make sure you watch that video, then come back and restart this one. So when we are dividing by 2, we are breaking down whatever we have into groups of 2. Division is the opposite of multiplication. So when we are multiplying, we're grouping things together in the same amount so that we can just count it really easily. So if we group things in groups of 5, we're counting by 5s, and that means we're multiplying by 5. So one group of 5 and 2 groups of 5, so 5 and 5 is 10, so that would be 5 times 2 because there's 2 groups. So we're doing the opposite now when we're doing division, and we're going to divide by 2. So I have 10 stars here, and in order to find out how many groups that would be, I'm going to put everything into groups of 2 to find out how many groups total there would be. So I'm going to put these 2 stars in a group, and these 2 stars in a group, and these 2 stars in a group, these 2 stars in a group, and these 2 stars in a group. So my total was 10. I started with 10. I'm dividing by 2 because everything is in groups of 2. And I have 1 group, 2 group, 3 group, 4 group, 5 groups. So my answer to 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now, I told you that you could also see your division problems this way, which is kind of confusing, but it's the inside divided by the outside. So if I rewrite the same problem, I would put 10, then the box means divided by, and the outside number is 2, and I put my answer right up top. It's 5. That's how those problems work. So I want to remind you that we already know some of these division problems, and you can check your answer by multiplying and going backwards. So for this one, if I count backwards and multiply from the right to the left, I go 5 times 2 equals 10. Is that correct? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yes, that's correct. So 5 is correct because I can work it backwards and I still get the same answer. So we're going to move along and go through this whole divided by 2 chart and talk about the answers. So 0 divided by 2 is 0. Anything divided, 0 divided by anything is always going to be 0. So that's always 0. We know 10 divided by 2 is 5, so I'm going to put that down here. And we know some other ones, but we're just going to go through the whole chart. So 2 divided by 2. Well, if I have 2 things and I'm grouping them into groups of 2, I have 1 group. Okay, now I have 4, and I'm going to put it into groups of 2. So I have a group of 2 here and a group of 2 here, so I have 1 group, 2 groups. 2 groups. Now I can do it the other way as well, and I could count by 2s to see how many fingers it takes for me to get to the orange number, the number that I'm dividing. So let's see, how many fingers does it take to get up to 6 when I count by 2s? So 2, 4, 6. That's 3 fingers, so my answer is 3. And now we're going to do 8. So 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now we're going to do 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fingers. So my answer is 6. And then we're going to do the problems like this the other way, just so that you can get some practice. So it's inside divided by outside. Inside divided by outside. That's why my colors are all that way. The orange ones are the number we're dividing. And then the green is what we're dividing by. So 14 divided by 2, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to count how many fingers it takes for me to get up to 14 when I count by 2s. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fingers. So my answer is 7. 7 goes up top. Now we're going to do 16. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. I have 5, 6, 7, 8 fingers. That goes up top. 16 divided by 2 is 8. Now we're going to do 18. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. I have 5 over here, 6, 7, 8, 9. My answer is 9. 9 goes up top. 18 divided by 2 is 9. This one we should know already. But we're going to do it. So we're going to do fingers up to 20 by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. That's 10 fingers. My answer is 10. So 20 divided by 2 is 10. The other way to look at that is if I look at the first number, 2, I know that 2 divided by 2 is 1, and then I add the 0 on the end because that's in the number that I'm dividing. Now, this one, I could do the same thing. I know 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. So 22 divided by 2 is 11, and I'll show you with my fingers as well. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. That was 10 plus 1 is 11. So 22 divided by 2 is 11. Then we have 24, and I'll do the number, my fingers by 2s again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So I have 10 plus 2, that's 12. My answer is 12. 24 divided by 2 is 12. So all you have to do is make the items you have into groups of 2 and count how many groups you have, or count by 2s on your fingers. The other thing that you might not realize, we have been doing divide by 2 for a while, and we just didn't call it that. We actually, when we took half of a number, that was the same thing as dividing by 2. So half of 6 is 3. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Same thing. Half of 8 is 4. Half of 10 is 5. Half of 12 is 6. Half of 14 is 7. Half of 16 is 8. Half of 18 is 9. Half of 20 is 10. Half of 22 is 11. And half of 24 is 12. So when you're dividing another number by 2, it's the same thing as cutting it in half. So you can either cut it in half, you can put it in groups of 2 and count how many groups you have, or you can count on your fingers by 2s, and however many fingers it takes to get up to that number, that's how many it is. I hope this was helpful. Let's look at our worksheet and see if there's anything we need to go over there. So on the back is always where we find the new stuff. On page 272 is where we find the new lesson for that day. So the whole top section in orange says dividing by 2, and it's just a reminder of what I taught you today. So you can look over that to help you see it in another way. And then section 1, it says write the quotients. Quotients are the answers to division problems. So you're just going to answer those division problems. They are all divided by 2 problems. Then section 2 says divide by 2 to find each answer. A cup is 1/2 pint. So it says 18 cups equals blank pints, and then it tells you the division problem at the end. So if you find, all you have to do is answer the division problem at the end of that sentence. Put the answer on the blank line, and that's your answer for blank cups equals blank pints. Let me know if you have any questions, but all you have to do is answer the division problem and put it on the blank line. Okay, section 3, write the differences. This is practice from what we learned the other day, which was subtracting with more zeros and the minuends. Make sure you do all the steps carefully. Don't try to skip ahead. Don't try to do any extra tricks. Do it exactly how I taught you. Then go back to page 271. This is all review of things we've done before. Section 1 says, how long is the alligator? At the end of the black line, it has the blank where you're going to put how long the alligator is, and then it has the 2 lines. That means inches, so you're going to measure in inches, write the number on that line, And then each inch equals 2 feet. How long are some real alligators? So for every inch on the paper, it's 2 feet in real life. So you're going to take that number of inches and you're going to multiply by 2 to find the answer. So I want you to write the problem and the answer on that line. Section 2 says, write the products and the multiplication twins. So it says 12 times 2 equals blank. You're going to write the answer on the blank, and then below that, you're going to write the twin for that problem. So you're going to swap the two numbers you're multiplying and then write the answer. So you're going to do that for all 3 of those problems. Section 3, write the differences. So this is, again, practicing with zeros up top. Make sure you do all the steps. Ask yourself all the questions, because there might be some that are trying to trick you. Can you do it? Yes or no? Look carefully. There are 2 that might try to trick you. As long as you look and ask yourself all those questions, you'll be fine. Section 4 on the front is write the sums. So you're adding, and there is carrying. So make sure you do all of the steps you need to. Section 5 says write the quotients. This is they're all 3 dividing by 10, which we've done already, so you should be fine. And then section 6 says write the temperatures. Circle the temperature that is closest to normal body temperature. So write a temperature for all 3, and then circle the one that is closest to body temperature. Hopefully you remember what body temperature is. We learned that quite a while ago. I'll remind you because I think it's been a really long time since we've done body temperature, which is 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. So circle whichever answer is closest to 98.6. Let me know if you have any questions, and that's it for arithmetic. Bye.